What is going on, sourdough sad squad? Oh, it's good to see you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. If you did make the great migration over from Instagram to YouTube, we welcome you. We see you, 49ers Media, stepson in the flesh. We see all the regulars as well. What's up, Sean, Jesus, Luke? Man, T.O., talk to me, big heck. It's been tough. Oh, we got a great migrator right here. Let's go. I like the name too. Great name. So it's great to see you guys. But we got Grumpy Mondays. We got Grumpy Monday today. So hopefully we can use this opportunity in front of us to air our grievances, talk about the hows, the whys, based on what we saw yesterday, and help each other get through this because yesterday's loss. Oh, let's go. We see you. Um, we love to see all you guys coming over. I hate Monday. I hate Mondays too when we lose, but when the 49ers win, it's phenomenal. It really, really is. Let's go. Love seeing all you guys from Instagram. We really appreciate it. If you guys are new here from Instagram, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that like button on this video, and let's get this thing rocking. What's up, squad? Let's go. Let's go. Nice to have you guys. We really appreciate all the support. But let's hop into this. Let's talk about this loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Honestly, let's keep it 100. It really feels like that the 49ers have been in a situation for a majority of the year where it feels like every game is a must win. If we started out kind of on the opposite side of where we expected, we had it hoped for coming into this year, and it got turned on its head really quickly. Obviously, with the loss to the Green Bay Packers, and then the second loss in a row to the Seattle Seahawks in Week 4. It's been an up and down year, to say the least. But when the team comes out and was seemingly back on track, right, and getting back into the groove of things, it seemingly falls apart yet again. So here we are, on a grumpy Monday, guys. We got to do our grumpy Mondays. It's justice. Grumpy Mondays means grumpy SpongeBob. So this is me right now. I'm sure this is a lot of you as well. But this is exactly how I woke up. Exactly how I woke up. I woke up real grumpy. And I'm sure a lot of you did as well, because I think one of the things when we look back at that game against the Seattle Seahawks, I think the things that we come back to are how they lost and why they lost. They played a good game. There was an opportunity in front of them to really be able to grab the momentum, um, and put this Seattle team away. But we understood going into this. We understood, through our pregame conversations, the conversations leading up, throughout the week. We knew Seattle had a lot, to play for. Even though it didn't seem like it in regards to record, at the end of the day, these guys are prideful. They care about what they do, and they're also playing for their next jobs and their next contracts. So, w- essentially, what it came down to is the 49ers got punched in the mouth quick, fast, and early with the huge touchdown to given up by the special teams. So we'll start there with the special teams blunders. Obviously, the situation regarding the punt that turned into a touchdown. I mean, you have to tip your cap a little bit to the Seattle Seahawks for obviously identifying something that we weren't doing, and they took advantage of it. So typically, when you want to look at why that happened, that's a scheme thing for the most part. Them not being alert, them not being prepared and ready for that to occur. So as a result, they were able right out the gate. We talked about it. We needed a 3-and-out. We needed to get that offense and Russell Wilson off the field. We didn't want to get them into rhythm. Nothing. We wanted to stifle them from the beginning because we knew that going up to that atmosphere in Seattle, that if we were to give them an inch, they were going to take a mile. So we recognized very quickly that, oh, we gave them that mile, in fact, right off the bat. So it started out kind of at a bit of a disadvantage. Now, it is what it is. That wasn't a great play. It's not the reason why they lost. It obviously contributes to why they lost, but it was not the ideal start. And the game kind of followed along as a result. Um, Jimmy came out, they didn't have the great first drive. They give up the big touchdown and they go 3-and-out instantly. It just felt like that was going to be a situation that haunted us the rest of the game for the exact reason that I just spoke about. We needed to come out, we needed to punch them in the mouth, and we needed to suck the wind and the life out of the clink. We understand that playing in Seattle is a different atmosphere. Um, and when you're in that stadium, that energy just sits on top of the team. You can even feel it. You can even feel it through the broadcast. You can feel how much energy is flowing through that stadium. So we couldn't give them anything, but unfortunately they did. And as a result, we were kind of playing, from behind, and we were able to get a lead and starting to look like we corrected the ship, and it was starting to look like the Seahawks were the Seahawks, and they were trying flea flickers, they were trying gimmick play after gimmick play because that's what they are right now. The Seattle Seahawks don't really have an offensive identity. They don't really have much continuity across the roster, and it took everything that they had to beat us. And at the end of the day, they did it. They beat us. Um, so what it comes down to again is playing fundamentally sound football on all three phases. We understand it's very elementary, but that's kind of what this team is like right now. It's either they're all in and everything's firing on all cylinders, or else it's like they almost have to like bring it back to the basics before they can get going again. But overall, I think a big another layer to this pie were the injuries. The injuries started to stack up. We identified very early on, again, with Tom Compton. We Tom Compton had a great game against the Vikings. He really did. He did good things against the Vikings, and he did a couple good things against Seattle. However, we know Tom Compton well enough to understand that he's weakest in pass protection and he's weakest on an island. So we understood that Dunlap uh, Compton matchup was going to be a matchup to watch. And unfortunately, it got us twice in some pretty big moments. If you guys remember the safety, if you go back and look at it, Tom Compton got housed essentially. Um, I don't want to show like lowlights necessarily. Um, and I'm contemplating if I want to or not, but it just it compounded. We miss McGlinchey. McGlinchey, my guy. I miss you, Mike. Oh my goodness. Do we miss Mike McGlinchey? Um, and we've talked about this as well with the right tackle position. We were hoping for a seamless transition from Jalen Moore from left tackle to right tackle. Keep in mind, he did not play right tackle in college, at least from my understanding, and he has not played right tackle in the NFL. Go back to training camp, go back to preseason. He's been a left tackle. All his technique, the feel, everything, left tackle. You switch him to right tackle. We start to see the issues happen as a result. Again, everything's backwards. Imagine just mirroring everything that you've ever learned, and all of a sudden you got to flip it and do it in reverse, essentially, from a brain functioning standpoint. That's why moving from right to left is not that simple unless you have done it before. So the reason why we don't see Jalen Moore at right tackle is because it's not his natural position. And when they put him in there, he wasn't ready he hasn't worked with Brunskill, so their communication on switching wasn't there. It just wasn't going to work. And so unfortunately, Tom Compton has been in that position quite a bit. So as a result, he is actually best suited right now to play right tackle over Jalen Moore. It's just we know that he's not a starting caliber right tackle. He's a spot starter. He's capable in spots, but we also understood that could be a potential issue, and it reared its head two very specific times. It really did. Big Dez, appreciate the contribution, my guy. He said Jimmy makes 25 million plus a year. Guys in this league who make that kind of money win a game like yesterday. Proof. A-Rod did it to us earlier in the year. I mean, I 100% hear what you're saying, Dez. Like, I get what you're saying. At a certain point, when there is a financial contribution to a position, such as the quarterback, you want to get that return on investment, right? We all want that ROI. We're all about that ROI. That's what we do it for. We want that return on investment. So I understand. I understand that. I really do try not to look too much and keep the two together, because at a certain point after he gets paid, he's just playing. He's just a player. And at a certain point, if we want to talk about the dollar amount, I would say the dollar amount also has more to do with guys like Parag Marate and that whole situation. So, and we all understand too the history of the dynamic of when Jimmy got paid after 5 games, how that changes the perception and what the expectation is out of the guy. It does. We went from having 5 games to be like, oh, we got a quarterback, we got this, we got that, to him getting paid that amount. And then all of a sudden, like, well, if we're going to pay him like the best quarterback in the league, then we damn well expect him to play like the best quarterback in the league. Seems fair, right? So I definitely understand that situation. But to kind of use also to play the opposite side of it, to use the example that Dez used, A-Rod did it to us earlier in the year. To be honest, Jimmy led us back in that game. He got the touchdown. He put us ahead over A-Rod with 37 seconds left. Now, the $25 million quarterback in that position should have the ability to have a little bit better clock awareness, be able to bring the clock down. Anyone knows that 37 seconds for Aaron Rodgers is too much time. We understand that. So that's what we would like to see out of that $25 million guys. When he gets into that situation and is prepared to win the game, and he actually does make the play, the full picture is, again, managing the clock, thinking of it twofold, thinking of it in the sense of we can't give the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. We can't do that. So I understand what you're saying, Des. And how about we just stick here? How about we stick here? I know Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be, again, we known this from the jump, that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be a big topic of discussion throughout the entirety of the year. Um, because whenever he has these games, this is what we're gonna talk about. This is what we're gonna be like, why is this? Why is that? How come everything's not working? At the end of the day, you have to look at how this team is built. I think we're all, I don't know. I know there's a lot of differing of opinions on Jimmy Garoppolo. I know there are. But I think if we all kind of take a step back, whether we have been defending Jimmy, whether we are absolutely opposed to Jimmy, whether you're right down the middle, take away whatever. Just take away whatever battles you have fought on those Twitter streets these last years, months, whatever. I think if you just take a step back and we evaluate who Jimmy Garoppolo is, we understand that Jimmy Garoppolo is a mid-level starting quarterback in this league. He's mid-level because of his consistency. If he was consistently performing well, like Dez was talking about with the money that he gets paid, we would have no problems. We wouldn't have any problems. We would be fine. We would be winning games because Jimmy does ha- possess ability. He possesses quick release. He has pretty solid mechanics. From a size standpoint, he's got good size, decently strong arm. But I think when we keep going down the evaluation rabbit hole with Jimmy Garoppolo, we start to focus on this part of the evaluation because we understand that playing quarterback is much more than just being a good athlete, much more than just being able to rifle a ball in between bracketed coverage because the hole's this big and he hits it with beautiful timing and just is able to get it. It's much, much more than that. And the biggest thing with Jimmy Garoppolo is just the consistency in processing, the consistency and level headedness that you need from being a quarterback. And so we find ourselves in situations where he gets baited. He gets baited by safeties, he gets baited by linebackers, all those types of things. And so it's not like he's lacks ability. And that's where the divisiveness comes, is because on one side, you're going to have a group of people who see the ability, see the potential, see the good throws, see the dimes, see the all that stuff, the good drives to bring this team back, the leader that the offense rallies around. They see that. But then we also get the bad that comes with it. And so when you add Trey Lance onto the roster, you flirt with every starting quarterback that is potentially available in the offseason. It just creates a very tough dynamic. And so at the end of the day, was Jimmy Garoppolo performing to the level that we needed him? No, but he was almost there. That's the crazy thing about Jimmy and why we just keep going back and forth with Jimmy. So it is what it is. We can argue, like, again, I think we need to just kind of remove the sides from this because I know that's where a lot of contention comes from. And if we just understand that Jimmy Garoppolo is who he is, and we move through the season that way, I think it would be easier to justify and understand, because there is a human element to this. There's basically a human element to this that the locker room responds to, whether we like it or not. They do. They respond to him. They respond to all the little things that he does that we don't see. So it's a tough situation. But at the end of the day, we want to see our quarterback perform a little bit better. It's not all on him, but we also understand essentially the divisiveness of this topic. It puts the focus on him. Um, probably gonna destroy your name, so I apologize in advance. Rosio, I hope. Rosio says, "You're saying basically we don't know which Jimmy shows up, the good, bad Jimmy, and that's part of it, and that's what exactly that's what comes along with it." Um, so unfortunately, right now, that Jimmy Garoppolo that we saw on Sunday, we've been successful with him in the past because our team was great around him. We had good special teams unit and we had a great defense, historically good defense. And so if you go back to that 2019 year and we look at that year, how it went, everything, Jimmy had a mediocre year. Again, I try to preface we had this discussion way, way, way in the past. But I always said Jimmy's 2019 year could be replicated by a rookie. Um, the way they managed the games, the way they relied on the defense. Now that doesn't change the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo led 4 game-winning comebacks that year and played really big in some really big spots. But in the overall shell of how they won games, they won on the back of their defense. They won on the back of Nick Bosa, D Ford, Fred Warner, Quan Alexander, Dre Greenlaw, Richard Sherman. So we don't quite have that. And so it makes it more difficult. We need more perfection out of our quarterback. We need our quarterback to be the reason essentially at that point to not make the mistakes because we're not really set up right now with the injuries to our defensive backs, to our linebackers, the way we're shuffling guys all the way around. Um, you know, it's not the same dynamic. It's not the same dynamic. We've evolved. We've evolved as a team, and so it's going to be a complicated scenario as we continue. We've already know we've been here before. I'm not going to show up on this channel and say that Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be benched for Trey Lance, even though I wanted Trey Lance to start week 1. The dynamics are changed. This and I think the hardest part that people are like really just struggling with right now is the 2021 season. The bed has been made. The bet has been made with Jimmy Garoppolo, whether we want to accept it or not. So, as we continue to move forward with this team, I'm going to go ahead and probably, and I'm thinking for Kyle, and again, trying to evaluate Kyle, his decision making process, and trying to again quantify it because I always thought Kyle was just smoke and mirrors with the whole quarterback thing. Just wanted to trade Jimmy this whole time. But I just don't think um, the situation really evolved or turned into what Kyle ever envisioned. I really don't. I don't think Kyle wanted this. I don't think Kyle, I don't. I think it's a bit of an economics lesson. Again, Kyle straight up said this in a press conference, said he wasn't going to trade Jimmy for peanuts. We know that this league is based on value and about value. They traded a second round pick for him. They want a second or more back. They don't want to lose. Again, ROI, we talked about it earlier, return on investment. Everyone wants a return on investment. So do the 49ers front office. They dropped millions into Jimmy Garoppolo. Millions. I think he's gotten like 50 million guaranteed, something more than that. Around that ballpark. They have dropped lots of dollars into Jimmy Garoppolo. They do not want Jimmy Garoppolo to just sail off into the sunset, land with the Patriots, and eventually turn them into a contender or something like that. So the whole thing with the Jimmy Garoppolo situation is we have to just go as Jimmy Garoppolo goes for 2021. A lot of people aren't going to like it. A lot of people are going to want to see Trey Lance. I wanted to see Trey Lance week 1, but it's beside the point. It's beside the point. Now it's a situation where we we've made our bed and now we have to sleep in it. So I think we just as fans, exactly. Like whether we like it or not, this year's not for Trey Lance. It's not. And the only time it's going to be, we're week 13, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get benched in that game against the Seattle Seahawks, and he's not going to get benched until they're out of the playoffs. It is what it is. Whether we like it or not, that's just the simple trend that is right here in front of us. What do we got going on? Are they doing the okay. All right. So Kyle's talking right now. They just dropped the injury news. Emmanuel Mosley, high ankle, will be out several weeks. Pain. Um, 49ers kick return Trenton Cannon has been discharged from the hospital. Looks like Trenton Cannon is going to be good. But like I said, the news right now coming out about Emmanuel Mosley is that he will be out several weeks. And is that a great transition into why this team is really not going to probably go extremely far? Okay, hold on. Let's wait for some of the news to come out. So Elijah Mitchell is in the concussion protocol. So we got two guys in concussion protocol: Trenton Cannon, Elijah Mitchell. This is interesting. Jeff Wilson, knee flared up, but should practice. So 49ers have three. The 49ers have no running backs right now. Let me say that again. The 49ers, if Jeff Wilson does not practice, I lied. They have Jermichael Hasty. They have one running back. They got one running back. The 49ers right now have one running back that is healthy. Um, so that is not good. And like I said, the most impactful news out of this all is the Emmanuel Mosley situation. So the fact that Emmanuel Mosley is out, pain. All I feel is pain. Uh, let's see. They're dropping Debo news right now. Kyle Shanahan on Debo Samuel. I'm hoping to get him back this week, but still too early to tell. So that tells me that Wednesday, which is typically how it works, Wednesday is going to be the day that we really know what's going on with Debo Samuel. However, we did get some pretty substantial news, especially heading into the Bengals game. Kyle Shanahan expects linebacker Fred Warner to practice Wednesday. That is good. Debo Samuel remains day to day, but hopeful he plays on Sunday. So that language is good. We like the way that they say that. Kyle's very specific in regards to talking about injuries. He will not divulge, he won't give you a glimmer of hope if there really isn't any hope. So I'm going to take that as a win, that hopefully we get to see Debo Samuel and Fred Warner back against the Bengals, because all of a sudden it just got real scary around here, guys. It just got real scary around here because going back to the Seattle game, what we're here to be talking about, and what we're here to talk about is that, to me, is a huge reason why the dynamic of that game changed. I know a lot of people are going to focus on the picks and the interception, and I did want to take some time to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, because I understand that is a big point of emphasis for a lot of fans. But ultimately, I don't think that was the main reason they lost. It absolutely contributed to why they lost, that being Jimmy Garoppolo and the INTs. Of course, that's always going to contribute to a loss. Anytime you turn over the ball, it's going to contribute to a loss. But really, the depth at cornerback, the again, we talked about when Demo had to come in for Emmanuel. They went right after him. First play, attacked him, and they got him. And it's not like he was like out of position really or anything. It was just, again, one-on-one press man, DK Metcalf with Diamador Lenore. This guy who's a rookie, fresh off the bench, has barely played. And guess what? Come cold off the bench and go cover DK Metcalf with with Russell Wilson throwing to you. My goodness. My goodness. Okay. Give me 1 second. I got to post this out. 49ers cornerback Emmanuel Moseley expected to miss multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain. And the 49ers, no. What do they want? All right, sorry, guys. You're getting to see the sausage making process. All right, so not only was Emmanuel Moseley suffered a high ankle sprain, expected to miss multiple weeks. Trent Cannon and Elijah Mitchell. Trenton Cannon and running back Elijah Mitchell. Again, apologies. I'm making my posts out here really quick, and then we'll get back to the conversation because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We were just getting started, too. Okay, 49ers running backs, Trent Cannon, Elijah Mitchell are in concussion protocol. Let's see, what else do we got? Jeff Wilson is dealing with a knee flare-up, which isn't good because if you guys remember, he was dealing with a torn meniscus. He tore that meniscus standing up at his locker. So clearly was something that gave him fits earlier in the year. And so something to monitor there. Had a flare, running back Jeff Wilson had a flare up in his knee. Status day to day. Okay. Man, this is a long injury list. This is a long injury list. And okay. And last one, which is positive. Linebacker Fred Warner and Deebo Samuel are hopeful to return against the Bengals. All right, I apologize, guys. I'm almost done. I'm not a fast typer. All right. 49ers expected to miss multiple weeks with a high ankle sprain. Running back Trenton Cannon and running back Elijah Mitchell on concussion protocol. Running back Jeff Wilson had a flare-up in his knee. Status day today. Fred Warner and Deebo Samuel are hopeful to return against the Bengals. All right, send it. And then we're going to talk about it. Send it, and then we're going to talk about it. Send it. There we go. Instagram is out. Now we're moving to Twitter. Sorry, guys. I know this isn't the most entertaining content ever. Hopeful to return. All right, we're hitting it. Okay, sorry. We're back. Reports are out. we're gonna keep one eye on any of the other additional news that comes out. But I think it's a great transition to talk about the cornerback situation. Um, because interesting, okay, perfect transition. This is from Cam Inman, Bay Area News Group. He says with cornerback Emmanuel Mosley out for a few weeks, and this is from Shanahan. Shanahan wants rookies Diamador Lenore and Ambry Thomas to step up this week and push vets Josh Norman and Dante Johnson. Sounds like Shanahan wants to see Thomas get cornerback reps after his best special teams game. So this this is going to be a situation. This is going to be a situation because what I was about to talk about was how we were focusing on the quarterback. Let me get my thoughts straight. We were focusing on the quarterbacks. We want to talk about the quarterbacks. We want to talk about the miscues from the quarterback. Does that mean that's going to be blah, 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 blah. Jimmy had 2 interceptions. Inexcusable. Bad picks. Not great. Other than that, he played okay. Other than that, he played decent ball. He got George Kittle the football when he needed to and did some good things. So it's not 100% on Jimmy Garoppolo, but a big portion of this is going to be around this topic, that guy, this guy. Like, we have been hammering this point home since training camp that this defensive back room has been scary based on depth, because we knew that if Jason Verrett were to ever go down, we knew that if Emmanuel Mosley were to ever go down, K'Wan Williams were to ever go down, the 49ers are going to be in trouble. We knew that. I know that as a football player. I know that. I also know that it doesn't matter. It does not matter how good your front seven is. If you don't have guys that can cover for 2 seconds, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed, because they'll just render your front seven useless. I've been on teams like that before. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. And we saw that happen in Seattle. For me, I think Emmanuel Mosley going out was probably one of the biggest swings of the entire game. Because again, based on the way I saw it, the offense got life from the fact that Emmanuel Mosley went out. They immediately started dialing it up to attack their cornerbacks immediately. So to me, that was a huge reason why the 49ers started to kind of lose their footing and started to lose their balance. I really think we're not going to go crazy or anything. We know what it is. Josh Norman should not be on an NFL team right now. I mean, we understand why he's playing. We're playing because we have no one else. Josh Norman's playing because we have no one else. We have 2 rookies, and I think they're trying to be very delicate with putting rookies out there that, might not be as ready as we want them to be. But right now, we don't have anyone in our defensive backs other than Tart, Talanoa, and Ward. No disrespect to Lenore, no disrespect to Ambry, no disrespect to Dante Johnson. I'll give disrespect to Josh Norman. But other than that, those guys aren't ready to come in and be starters right now. They're not. And so we see with Josh Norman every week. And when you put a guy like Diamador Lenore in almost an impossible situation, that's just tough. We should have been doing this the whole time. Say what you want about Dante Johnson. Why isn't he playing? Instead of Josh Norman? At least Dante Johnson this year, even last year. He's capable of making a play or two here or there. I just I just I'd honestly rather have Dante Johnson, to be honest with you. So I hope Dante Johnson. Um, I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if we throw the two rookie cornerbacks out there, and I'm telling you this. This is the point. They're rookies. Like they're rookies, and I'm a big offensive line advocate. I will tell you how hard it is to play offensive line. I will tell you how difficult it is from a physicality, technical standpoint. It is hard to be an offensive lineman, but it is also a similar type of difficulty for cornerbacks because again, comprehend this. Offensive linemen are moving backwards to stop 330 pounders from rushing through their face, but we're not attacking them. We're moving backwards. We have to counter and do all these moves and do all this stuff and let them fall into our lap, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with cornerbacks. You have to be very reactive. You have to have good eyes. You got to trust your instincts. You have to have the ability to be able to rely on your instincts and trust what you see. And when you have rookies in here, it's hard. With Ambry Thomas all throughout training camp, Ambry Thomas was just a step behind every play. He was just a step behind. Diamador Lenore had a much better camp than Ambry, but still we've seen similar things. We've seen similar things from both of them, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. It comes with the territory. So honestly, though, it's just it's just oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting little nugget. Um, interesting little nugget, which I think we'll transition to right now. So yes, this is going to be a scary situation. This is going to be something that reared its ugly head against Seattle. It's again going to be another reason why it's just going to be a hard situation. But if we really want to start looking at some things, and this is interesting from Kyle Shanahan right here. Kyle Shanahan mentions that the the fake punt that led to a touchdown, he was saying that was a schematic issue. He is not saying, he literally saying there's no fault to the players based on alignment and how they were set up, which you saw. They weren't even alerted to it at all. Um, but I find that interesting. I find it interesting that Kyle Shanahan, um, you know, that's a shot at one of your coaches, and this is going to be the guy who's going to Hightower is going to follow Shanahan on Wednesday when they come to the podium and talk to us. So it's going to be interesting. But Kyle called it like it is. Said that was a schematic issue. Specifically, didn't call out the players, and so that's what he did. He just put it on his coach. So mm, that sucks. It sucks for the special teams coach. He seems like a really nice guy. He seems like super, super chill, super dope, super nice, great guy, right? Um, but it's about what we do in between those white lines, right? That's how we get paid. We get paid off of relationship, and we it's who we meet, who right? Absolutely. But we got to go out and we got to do our job. And I think that special teams blunder, um, that was a huge reason why we lost the game. Again, is what I started with, what I opened with. The momentum. I'm a huge momentum guy. A lot of you'll hear other people talk about momentum doesn't exist. Yeah, but it does. And the energy is real, it's palpable. And so when you come out, you get that 3 and out. Yeah, we stopped Russell Wilson. And we're like, all right, we're gonna get the ball. We're gonna drive down. We're gonna score, be the first to score here against Russell Wilson, and we're just gonna punch him in the face, and we're gonna punch him until they don't want to stand up anymore. That's the mentality, that's the vibe, and that's the momentum you build up and foster. But when you're out of alignment on a punt and they see it and they key on it and they run for 70 plus yards for a touchdown, man, oh man. Mistakes that can't be made. Again, similar to like the mistakes that we talk about with Jimmy Garoppolo. We can't throw interceptions to underneath linebackers. We just can't do that. Just like Richard Hightower, we can't have our players playing outside their alignment. That's a coaching flaw. That is, again, just like Kyle Shanahan said, not on the players, it's on the coach. Um, Luke said he said the same thing yesterday. Hightower seems like a great dude and hard to fire, but that's why this is a business. That's why like we get emotional about players. I get emotional about players. But at the end of the day, this is a business. This is a production business. Are you producing or are you not? So right now, our special teams haven't been great. Okay. Um, do we have great depth right now? I don't know. Maybe. So it's tough. It's tough. So unfortunately, though, for Richard Hightower, he definitely got. I don't want to call it being thrown under the bus, because it is what it is. You got to call a spade a spade. If it was an alignment issue and it was on, the coaching and the keys that they need to look for, of course, 100%. That's on the coach. Just like we would come after Shanahan's neck. Just like we come after Shanahan's neck if he called some funky play on 4th and 1 with Jimmy Garoppolo doing some read option or whatever. We come after his neck too. See what I did there? See what I did there? Um, so it is what it is, man. It really is kind of an is what it is situation with this game. We understand how, like, I understand, at least I feel like I understand how you go up to Seattle and you win. And you win. You win by not doing this. You cannot kill your momentum. Like we said in the beginning, if you give that Seattle Seahawks team an inch, they will take a freaking 30 miles. We can't do that. We cannot give them a single inch. It's a game of inches, guys. This is a game of inches. So we can't give them an inch. We got to take every inch that we can. And especially when we go up north. We know it's different. We know they have a great home field advantage. We understand that. But that's why you have to be built different when you go up there and play. You just have to. And those types of mistakes, alignment errors, are inexcusable. They really are. So week 13, week 13, we're lining up in the wrong spot. We're not keying on potential fakes. Come on, guys. We all know we got to be better than that. Lil Lord Stewie says, embrace the loss. Banana hands on the hot seat. I think we can win the rest of the season. 5 weeks left. Right. Yes, we have 5 games left. We are currently slated in the 7th seed. This team still has an opportunity to make the playoffs. Like, we might not be happy with the way they're performing. Certain calls are being made. They still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. Because if you look at the seating, it's wide open. Washington's in front of us. We're better than Washington. We might not like execute all the time because of whatever issues we put ourselves in, but bottom line, we're a better team than Washington. At least I believe. Um, mm, Sorry, I'm doing a roster. I'm doing a roster comparison back in my head. What do we? Oh, let's do it really quick, and we'll get to Jacob here in 1 second. Let's do this really quick. All right, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what the chat says. We're building 49. We're building the offense only using Washington football team and only using the 49ers. Would you rather have Heineke or Jimmy Garoppolo as your quarterback? Drop it in the chat. I just want to see something. Completely off topic. completely off topic. But I just want to see Jimmy Garoppolo or Taylor Heineke. Which quarterback would you want right now? Again, this is not a long view question. It's just right now. Who would you rather have? I see Jimmy Heineke. He's got a funky name to spell. Taylor, Jimmy G, Jimmy G, Jimmy G, Jimmy G, Jimmy G, Jimmy G. We got a couple Heinekes. We got a couple Jimmy G's, mostly Jimmy G's right now. The Heinekes are starting to fall in. It feels none of them. Trey Lance, Jimmy, Jimmy G, Heinz ketchup. We get the drift. Jimmy. It kind of feels more slated for Jimmy. All right, running back. Um, this is a test to see which one you're gonna go with. Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell. I'm very interested to see what this looks like. You can only pick. We're building an offense based on this two. Again, the Washington football team is seated at the 6th seed. They are right in front of us. Do we think they are a better team? Just based on offense. So first one, we got Gibson. We got Mitchell, 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 Mitchell. Two Gibsons, Mitch. Hold on, I got to get to this before it goes away. I think it just went away. Oops. Did I miss it? I think I might have. I'm getting behind on super chats. I apologize. Hold on one second. Sherfield held in the end zone right in front of the ref. Should have been a 1st and goal at the 1. Yeah, that play was a little bit frustrating. I got to go back and look at that. I got to see if it fits within the 5-yard press man rule. But there was a lot of grabbing going on. 100%. There was a lot of grabbing going on. Do you think this season is over? I don't. I do not think this season is over. And it's a great segue, Jacob. It's kind of what we're talking about, so I can get back to what we're talking about. Again, thank you guys so much for the super chats. But again, back to the question, Antonio Gibson or Elijah Mitchell. So far, I see a hell of a lot of Elijah Mitchell. So based on what I'm seeing right now is Ben says no bias. Mitchell. Mitchell. Oh, look at my home. Look at my boy. Woo! We need like a bell or something like $50 super chat. Lil Lord Stewie goated. Lil Lord Stewie goated. Sourdough Squad salute. Ooh, the Sourdough Squad salute. We see you, Lil Lord Stewie. My boy, appreciate you. Lil Lord Stewie said, I meant embarrassing, but we need to get some O-line. We got Trent, but we need better center and other O-line. Which do you think we need more? So we can run the ball and have a good guard protection for Lance, because we can lose Lance in a snap. This is great question, Little Lord Stewie, about the offensive line. I'm gonna take a break from what we were doing to I have to for Little Lord Stewie. Thank you. We appreciate you. Sourdough Squad salute. So I'll answer your question, then we'll get back to our little I want to see something. I want to see something between Washington football team and the 49ers. But this is really how it comes down to it. Aaron Banks, question mark. We don't know. We don't know. Based on what I've seen from camp, based on what we saw against the Jags, he needs some time. We don't know how much time he needs. So that is going to be something that is going to be interesting. Mike McGlinchey, we could absolutely use Mike McGlinchey on the right tackle right now. Mike McGlinchey has been good this year, and he's really taken steps forward. So if Mike McGlinchey is there, I'm fine. Even Brunskill, for the most part. Like, I can live with our starting offensive line. I really can. If you put Brunskill back into, I'm sorry, if you put Mike McGlinchey back at right tackle. However, if you are just you're kind of getting over, Brunskill getting pushed back a little bit on some of those pass protections. Brunskill does a lot of good things well. He's our best pulling offensive lineman. You guys have seen how much pulling we do. He's our best puller. He's our best puller. He's been money when we're pulling and trapping Brunskill on power. So Alex Mack is getting a little older, but Alex Mack has been more than serviceable. However, how I see this I would love to see them draft a center. I would have loved to see them draft a center in the draft, but I also would have loved to see them go after a guy like Quinn Miners. We saw Quinn Miners last night um, on Sunday Night Football. Dude was demolishing people left and right. He was a third round pick, 98th overall. I would have picked him over Banks. He's obviously a huge friend of the channel. We interviewed Quinn Miners here on this YouTube channel. So would have loved to have that. We can rebuild this offensive line, but Lakin's a free agent. Brunskill's a free agent. We got Max back, and McGlinchey's coming off an injury that they said has a 50% chance of healing. So, in all honesty, the 49ers are going to have to do a lot of soul searching for the offensive line to figure out how they rebuild it. Do they want to bring in Lakin Tomlinson back, 29 years old, 30 years old, give him the contract extension? I would be okay with it. But you never know. They might choose to go younger and cheaper. Same thing with Brunskill. Brunskill's going to earn a bag, but it might not be with us. So they need to address the interior regardless. They're going to need to address the interior regardless. I would like them to do it in the draft, but I would also imagine they're going to do it in free agency as well. But you have 2 free agent guards. So with them both, we're going to have to figure it out. This is going to be something we're going to talk about a lot in the offseason for sure. But I agree what they're going to be doing with Lance is going to be a lot different than what they do with Jimmy. So there might be a whole philosophical change coming to that offensive line room. We don't know. We're going to see. But again, shout out Little Lord Stewie for the insanely generous super chat. Absolutely appreciate you, man. But I can guarantee you we're going to be talking about this a lot this offseason. We're going to be talking about this so much. I guarantee it. Little Lord Stewie is a goat. All right. Let's get back to our exercise. Again, I just want to see something. So far, based on our chat, we have Jimmy over Taylor Heineke. So Jimmy. We also have Elijah Mitchell over Antonio Gibson. Now, wide receiver wise, no bias, guys. Deebo Samuel or Terry McLaurin. Ooh. Who would you prefer to have? Deebo Samuel or Terry McLaurin? Terry McLaurin, one of the best contested catchers in the NFL. Absolutely stud, talented. But then you got Deebo. MVP Deebo? Who's it going to be? Oh, shocker. Landslide. It is a good one. It is. It is a good one. But we got a lot of people who like Deebo Samuel around here. Deebo Deebo Patterson, 19. Deebo. Jimmy says he wants Gibson, Deebo, and Jimmy so far. So the only place he has the Washington football team with a leg up is the running back position. Deebo can catch and run. He can do it all. If we had a QB, Scary Terry, ooh, that's kind of nice. I see what you did there. Deebo. So, you see the vibes. So so far, everything's still trending towards them. And if you go down the rest of skill positions, I mean, they really don't have anyone after Terry McLaurin. They got Curtis Samuel. He's been injured all year. God, I'm trying to think of who else they really have. They have like DeAndre Carter. He was a 49er at one point. He's more of a special teams guy. If you go, and I know asking which O line would you rather have? Would you rather have 49ers O line or Washington's O line? Um, I know it's a hard question to ask because it's not like everyone is over here scouting Washington football team's offensive line. Uh, but I will say I would prefer our offensive line over there. So the whole point of the exercise was it's gotten little long winded was the team that is slated above the 49ers in the playoff hunt is the Washington football team led by Taylor Heineke, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, a decent offensive line, and a decent defense. They have a good defensive line as well. They have Taylor Sweat, they got Chase Young, they got Allen. They have some good pieces. Um, but it's also kind of just Washington. So the whole point of the exercise was, are we done? I think that's what someone asked. Are we done? Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it. But the original question was, are we done? Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Here it is. Jacob said, do you think the season is over? And obviously, go 49ers, sad face, angry face. And the whole point of what I'm saying is that this is the 6th seed right now. We beat the 5th seed in the Vikings at the time. The Falcons are in the hunt. The NFC is wide open right now, at least with those kind of bottom tiered seeded teams. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Ron Rivera versus Kyle Shanahan. I think that one might be a little more split based on what I've seen on Twitter. But the whole point of this extremely long exercise was they're still in it. They are still in this, no matter what, regardless of that really ugly loss against Seattle, regardless of the kind of up and down year that this team has had, they're still squarely in it. And we know, and at least I know, if I've been watching the NFL long enough, that it only takes a team getting into the dance, one, and two, getting hot at the right time. That's it. That's really what it is. So as long as this team can get into a seeded spot, absolutely, the season is not over. It's not over right now. They have a lot of games. They have 5 games. They have 5 opportunities to continue to get better. So, although it feels like the world and the sky is falling right now because we just lost terribly to the Seattle Seahawks, who really feels like they freaking own us at this point. It feels like the season's over. It's felt like that after almost every one of the losses this year because that's just what the season has felt like. But it's not. And so we are here, of course. We're going to talk about why the Seattle game and all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't change the facts that we're probably still going to make the playoffs. And so I get being upset, but that's why we got to temper the fired talk. We got to temper the extremes. We have to temper the extremes with reality. And the reality is this team is still in it. Whether we like to admit it or not, whether we think Kyle Shanahan should be fired or not, whether we think anyone should be gone or not, they're still in it. So, although being 6-6 at this point in the year was not what we had wanted or envisioned, especially how we've gotten to 6-6, but it doesn't change the fact that we are squarely looking the playoffs dead in the mouth. So I've been around long enough that, yeah, the regular season is the regular season. The playoffs is a completely different season. It's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different mentality. It's one and done. That's it. You get in the playoffs, it's one and done. The level of play goes to a different notch. The energy goes to a different level. Like it just everything goes up a notch. So, yes, did that loss to Seattle suck in every single possible imaginable way? Almost. George Kittle had a nice day. George Kittle had a really nice day. Aziz Al-Shaair, probably the best defender the 49ers have right now. DJ Jones, great game. Absolutely great game. So there were bright spots. They're still good. They're still good. And you can take that good, get into the playoffs, and start firing on all cylinders. That is the hope. That is the dreams that we have. Now, again, we could be pissed all we want. How could I forget Nick Bosa comeback player of the year? Was he at 12 sacks now? Sheesh. Shout out Don Burr. Victory Monday for Don Burr. Grumpy Monday for us, Don. So beware. We're grumpy. So we're right here, man. We are right here. So you got G-Rod saying, oh, he's saying, am I saying? So you're saying we're going to win the rest of these games, but couldn't beat the Hawks? You're saying that's not at all what I said. All I'm saying is based on how everything is stacked up, they have an opportunity to get into the playoffs. The Falcons are in the hunt. Tennessee Titans are in the hunt. The Rams are in the hunt. So that means we're here. Doesn't mean we're going to win every game. I don't think we're going to win every game. I would hope to win every game. But to the point, 49ers, and again, it's any given Sunday. It's a division. We can pretend like we lost to the bottom feeder Seattle Seahawks, or we can realize that, hey, we lost to Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett again. They got our number. And right after this, right after Emmanuel Mosley went out, felt like their offense really changed. Really felt like they got a big boost from that. They really did. So, all that being said, again, we can dive into the hows and the whys of the 49ers lost against the Seahawks, how it's unacceptable on this level, on that level, this, no good, bad, crappy, shitty, doesn't matter. We can say all that and still look forward and be like, we're still squarely in the playoffs right now. The 49ers still control their own destiny. So hey, I'm a fan of any type of trash talking or whatever, all done in good fun. So if you're enjoying our pain and misery as a Seattle Seahawks fan, enjoy. Enjoy. We were talking I'm talking about it like the 49ers are like the 49ers and the Seahawks are like the 49ers and the Rams. It's just flipped. It's just flipped for whatever reason. It is what it is. So it's the reality of the fact is playoffs are still here. Yeah, I get it. We're talking about playoffs? Playoffs. Playoffs. Talking about playoffs. I get it. But facts are facts. 49ers are 7 seed. The playoffs were to start today. The 49ers are in the playoffs. 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 Yeah, that's my Jim Mora impression for today. But we can also recognize if the 49ers play like they played against Seattle, Even if they make the playoffs, they're not going far. All things can be true. Here on this channel, we use our brains to be able to look at every single possible range of outcomes. And guess what? There's a lot. There's a lot. And right now, the range of outcomes are telling us that the 49ers have a shot at the playoffs. Now, that's just a simple fact. But we also can talk about how if we see the San Francisco 49ers and how they played against the Seattle Seahawks for the next 5 weeks, they're not going to the playoffs. I would say that's fair. Would you say that's fair? Would you say that the 49ers absolutely have a shot to make the playoffs this year? But if they play like they did against Seattle, they're not going to go, they're not going to make the playoffs. And if they do make the playoffs, they're not going to go very far. Does that seem reasonable? I would say so. So we're in that weird middle ground. We're in that weird middle ground spot where we got 1 foot in the playoffs and we got 1 foot in our grave. And we've been in this situation all freaking year. And that's why everyone loses their goddamn mind every time we lose because they don't know how to feel. Is our season over? Are we done? I'll fire everyone. But wait, we're still in the playoffs. But fire everyone. But we're in the playoffs. Still, fire them while we're in the playoffs. Like, I get it. Frustrating. It's aggravating. It's confusing. My emotions are telling me one thing. My eyes are telling me one thing. The facts are telling me another. It's a lot. But honestly, at the end of the day, this team controls their destiny. This team controls what they want to do. We can talk till we're blue in the freaking face about what's wrong with this team. It doesn't change the fact that they still control their destiny. So I don't know. What do we do with that? We sit back and we enjoy the ride because that's all we can do. We've seen this team win when they shouldn't. We've seen them lose when they shouldn't. We've seen it all. And I guarantee you it's not done. It's just getting started. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Chat's been on fire today. Shout out to chat. Shout out to chat. Shout out to Sourdough Squad. If you guys are new, you like the video, you're subscribed. Hell yeah, let's go. We appreciate you. Come back. I guarantee you it's a lot more litty when we win. It was a little down. It's a little downer party around here when we lose. So if you're new, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. Hit that like. You know the vibes. Appreciate you, media. Appreciate you. That's my stepson right there. That's my stepson. I love him with all my heart. Love my stepson. Let's go. Let's go, James. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the damn vibes. So I don't know. Let's end it like this. Let's end it like this. Yesterday was sucky. Like pain, sadness, tears, crying, frustration, just questioning our existence. What are we? Why are we here? Depression's a good one. Heartbreaking's a good one. Rage said he almost cried. Bro, I probably would have cried if I wasn't on live. No, I'm just kidding. I've cried on live before. Don't do it. It's not fun. But that's what that was. That was just pain. It's just pain. That's what we're dealing with today. It's just pain. Pain because they didn't execute. Pain because they weren't in alignment. Pain because They didn't see underneath defenders. Pain because we got injured. We know how it goes. So it is what it is. There's no correcting what happened yesterday. Trey Lance could save us. He could not. This is what our season is. That's what our season is. That's what 2021 is. We don't know. We don't know. Each and every week, it's like we're about to watch some show that we've never seen before. We're like, what are we gonna get? Is it gonna be good? It's gonna be bad. I don't know. About to find out. It's supposed to be directed by some well-renowned directors. There's supposed to be some really good actors in this play. Like, dude, we don't know. So just be prepared. Just be prepared. Bengals are coming to town. The 49ers are missing their top 2 cornerbacks and coming up against arguably the best wide receiver trio in the league. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. No cornerbacks. No cornerbacks. Yo, if you guys haven't watched Jason Aponte's stream yet, go watch it. Go watch his post-game rant, dude. It was legendary. One of the better ones I've ever seen. It was on point. So now we just wait. We are like that kid who was forced to go on the roller coaster ride, and we just got to sit through it and just like live with every turn and flip and twist and just like that's what the season is. So if we take a step back, take some deep breaths, and just understand, hey, it's not over. It's not done yet. We're still in it. Just hold on. Buckle up and get ready because it could go anyway. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what we're going to get. We don't know. We don't know. And that's okay. And I know not knowing creates stress, frustration, all that. So it is what it is. We're definitely going to be talking about the Bengals game, and we're going to be talking about the Bengals game in depth. Joe Mixon, again, they can run the ball. They got decent offensive line. They run a system similarly to Kyle's. But it's not. Rocky Mountain Razorback. It feels like that, but it's not. So we're going to see what happens. We've laid out the plan before. We did this after the Colts game. We laid out the plan, how the 49ers get back on track, how they get into the playoffs. Well, okay, they did it. They actually executed the plan that we talked about. They did it, and now they are facing the playoffs dead in the face. Now, what is the next 5-game plan? You got the Bengals, Falcons, Titans on Thursday Night Football, Texans, and Rams. So I see 2 games that should be winnable on paper without even a question. Falcons, Texans. If the 49ers lose either one of those games, whatever. Like that, it would make sense, right? Based on how this year went. But we should, on paper, should beat the Falcons and the Texans. Okay, there's 2. Bengals. What team do we see on Sunday? I don't know. Bengals are good. Bengals are solid. They're a solid team. Last Sunday they got embarrassed. So again, prideful people, just like we saw with Seattle, they were on the brink of being done. Like done, dead. D-E-D, dead. I know that's not how you spell dead, but it's a phenomenal quote. I love using it. So we don't know. Hopefully we get something good. Tennessee Titans come limping in. Against Thursday Night Football game, we travel to Tennessee. their offense ain't walking through that door anymore. And when I say their offense, Derrick Henry ain't coming through that door anymore. So that could be a potentially winnable game. Rams to end the year. So that's the thing. The plan is don't lose games. We had a real intricate plan before. It was beat Chicago and split with Arizona and Rams. We were like, that's our plan. Just do that, and we're back on track. Just do that. They did it. But then they were able to follow up with the win against the Jags and the win against the Vikings. Needed that win against Seattle. I think for our mental, just for our mental. Think about Victory Monday today. Think about Victory Monday today. If we could get on here and say the 49ers have won 4 in a row and 5 out of the last 6. If we were here on Victory Monday, like let's say Jimmy Garoppolo makes that touchdown, we end up going up and winning that game in Seattle with the interceptions, with the touchdown on special teams, with everything the same way. We just win. Dude, what are we talking about today? We are talking about a lot of different things. Could have been the same exact performance. Same exact performance, just the outcome is a win. Our entire tone is different. So that is part of it. We'll take it with a grain of salt. Again, temper expectations. What do we get against the Bengals? I don't know. We'll see. We have some squad that's capable, but we're going to be down defensive backs, might be down some running backs. I don't know. We'll see who steps up, and we'll see who shows up. So so explain this a little bit to me, Ben. Ben is saying this is all because the time pushback changed everything if you really think about it. Like daylight savings time? Is that what you're talking about? That changed everything? I don't know. This is all because the time pushback. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I'm like daylight savings time? I don't know. I'll take the explanation in the chat for sure. So I got you. You're saying if they kept in the prime time window, it would have been different. Prime time window would have been different. I mean, of course, you mess with time. Time is time. Time doesn't change. Outcomes will change differently because how you move through your day changes. Maybe. I don't know. Ben is absolutely galaxy braining this right now, though. Let's go. Appreciate the new sub. We see you. Really do appreciate that. Really, really do appreciate that. Mess with time. It messed back the Avengers. Taught me that. Yeah. You never know. Who knows? But tough loss. Not what we wanted. There's still a lot of good. But when you lose, the bad is what comes to the surface. The bad is what rises to the top. So I feel like I've said this a million times. It is what it is. We lost, but we still got 1 foot in the playoffs. We got 1 foot in the grave, but we got 1 foot in the playoffs. So that's the vibe. And that is going to cause stress. It's going to cause a lot of turmoil on Twitter for sure. Um, yeah, we need a Debo. Debo's been that explosive player that has really been what we've been missing in the run game. Now, Elijah Mitchell's been great for the most part in the run game, but Debo and what Raheem brought was this explosiveness to the outside zone. And when you hit it and you hit it right, they're gone. That's why we see Debo having such great success in the system. Same thing, same reasons why Raheem Mostert was. Um, so dang, that's crazy. Baldy's do I just saw that he posted a breakdown, but I didn't see the breakdown, just the caption of that what he said. Carlos Dunlap only played 7 snaps. Carlos Dunlap only played 7 snaps, and 2 of them resulted in game-changing plays. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy. Talk about efficiency. So it is what it is. Um, that's the theme of today's episode. It is what it is. It is what it is. We do need Warner as well. So hopefully those two guys come back. Based on what we're hearing, sounds like they could. So we need them. All hands. We need all that. We need all the bodies that we can get at this point. It's a war of attrition across the league. We're hurt. Everyone else is hurt. Just remember that as well. We're not the only ones limping in to the end of the season. There's a lot of people out there who are hurt, and so we'll see what happens. But I do appreciate all you guys hopping on and joining me to rant and ramble and whatever about this game because it was a hard game to lose. Um, it was really exciting at the end. Obviously, they fell short. Um, so we just hope for a better outcome, a better showing against the Bengals at the end of the day. So uh, I know we're gonna end up talking about the Seattle game more. I don't know if I don't want to, but that's typically perfect. Jimmy said it best, right? Oh man, what a comment to make after that game. What a comment. So again, not there is positives to take away from the game, but we understand that the loss just makes it a lot harder to really put a lot of emphasis into the positives. So the hope is that this team can continue to take care of the football. Again, we understand the the turnover differential has been, I think, one of the biggest indicators of win loss for us. If we're turning over the ball, we're not winning games. So, and we can't have that, especially from our quarterback. And we understand. We understand. We don't have to go too deep into it. But we need more efficiency. We need better. We need better play consistently from that position. We we've been living with 3 quarters, two quarters of good play. We need 4 quarters from that position. If the 49ers want to go far based on how this team is built, the injuries, everything, the quarterback position has to be the most consistent position right now because we're hurt everywhere else. So we need them to be consistent. We need them to be locked in, that being Jimmy, and see where he can take us because I have a feeling Jimmy like that's who's going to be who's got calling the shots for the 49ers until they are out of the playoffs. Or he just has one of those games where it is what it is. So I mean, for our sake, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't. Like, I would love for anything. Again, I would love to. I want to see Trey. I want to see the future, but I also want to see this team win. I want to see them be successful. So if Jimmy Garoppolo can do that and provide that for this team, go for it, please. Nothing wrong with that. Um, but we'll see. I think we're gonna have to go back to the one game at a time mentality. Um, we will not be out the playoffs. We're gonna go in the bowl and we win in that she. I hope so. But we're not going to worry about the Super Bowl, and we talk about the playoffs just to bring some context to it. But in reality, it's one game at a time. It's one game. When you got one foot in the grave and one foot in the playoffs, it's one game at a time. So we're not going to focus on any of those other games. We're focused on the Bengals. Turn the page, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it. That's it. Bengals, all we care about. Playoffs, don't care. So hopefully we take care of business this weekend against the Bengals, but we'll see. No one hold your breath. All right. So I appreciate everyone hopping on. Went a little long, but I appreciate you guys. As always, the chat was pretty solid today. Chat was pretty solid today. Even though, we're dealing with the loss. Okay. I get it. Bad loss, too. It's one of our worst losses of the year. However, the chat responded pretty well. So, tip of the cap to the sourdough squad. Again, whether we're crying or laughing, we seem to keep each other pretty even. And that's what I appreciate kind of about this community that we're building here. So I'm really excited that we can have these kinds of conversations. No one's getting too upset. We poke a little fun at each other back and forth, but at the end of the day, we're just upset that we lost, and hopefully we can be looking at a win next week. So, and we can bring the vibes back. But until then, hopefully have some film breakdowns. We're going to be having Jason Aponte this week. I've been getting pulled in different directions on Fridays with Jordan Elliott. So hopefully I might get Jordan Elliott on tomorrow. We're going to figure it out. Shout out Luke, my guy. Luke, I'm going to check my messages after this. I hope. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, good rest of your day. Obviously, it's Grumpy Monday, so you might be a little grumpy today. That's okay. But we'll be back tomorrow. Plenty more content, plenty more to talk about. So until then, Sourdough Squad, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great rest of your night.